this time, I'm calling the meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Secretary, would you please take roll?
Trustee Santini?
Present.
Trustee Wilson?
Present.
Trustee Maynard?
Present.
Treasurer Barry Powers? Vice President, Secretary Lisa Lariano, present. Vice President Lisa Wilson,
Present.
and President Ms. Kaminsky.
Present. Let the record reflect there are 6 board members present. We have a quorum for voting purposes. Also in attendance this evening, we have our Parker Principal, Rashida Shack. We have our Athletic Director, Mr. Bob Walmsley, our Communications Person, Alex Herschel, our Personnel Director, Lee Walmsley, and I don't see anybody else. Board members, before we start, I'm asking for a change on the agenda. Item number 10, under non-consent items, will be deleted as Ms. Micheletti has decided not to accept a position. And I do have an addition. It should be in your board packet, 1 AD, a teacher.
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Maynard.
I move the deletion of number 10 to be replaced with the addition of a teacher 1AD, the hiring of Stephanie Brisdeen.
Thank you, Mr. Maynard. Mr. Maynard has made the motion for the agenda. Do I have support?
Support.
Mr. Wilson, is there discussion? Hearing and seeing none. Madam Secretary, would you please take roll call?
Trustee Maynard?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Santini?
Yes.
Secretary Valerio now? Yes. Vice President Wilson?
Yes.
And President Kaminsky.
Votes yes, motion carries. 6-0. Approval of the minutes.
No, we haven't approved of the total agenda, did we? That was just the amendment to the agenda.
Thank you.
Motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Maynard. Is there support for approval of the revised agenda?
Support.
Mr. Wilson? Is there discussion?
Yes.
Yes. Ms. Wilson, Ms. Valerian-Oak.
I would like to motion that we take number 11 off of the agenda and put it to our next meeting date for the new policy review.
Ms. Valerian-Oak has requested that we omit item number 11 of non-consent items regarding the update to the board policies. Is there support for her motion?
Support.
Mr. Maynard, discussion? Hearing and seeing no further discussion, Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Lisa Valerio now, yes. Mr. Maynard?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Santini?
Yes.
Vice President Wilson?
Yes.
And President Kaminsky.
Votes no. Motion passes 5-1.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
A motion to approve the agenda as submitted, or as amended again.
Thank you, Mr. Maynard. Is there support for Mr. Maynard's motion?
I'll support.
Is there discussion? Hearing and seeing none. Madam Secretary, would you please take roll call?
Trustee Maynard.
Yes.
Secretary Valero, no. Yes. Trustee Zantini.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson. Vice President Wilson.
Yes.
And President Kaminsky.
Votes yes. Motion carries 6-0.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the minutes presented on July 21st for both the closed and regular session.
Thank you, Mr. Maynard. Mr. Maynard has motioned to approve of the minutes for July 21st, regular board session, and July 21st, closed session meetings, meeting minutes. Is there support?
Support.
Ms. Wilson, thank you. Is there discussion? Hearing and seeing none. Madam Secretary, would you please take roll call?
Trustee Maynard.
Yes.
Vice President Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Zantini.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Secretary Valero, no. Yes. And President Kaminsky.
Votes yes. Motion passes 6-0. Approval of the bills. The superintendent and the board president recommend that the board approve the bills ending August 8th, 2025.
So
Is there
moved.
motion on the floor by Mr. Maynard? Is there support?
Support.
Mr. Wilson, thank you.
Mrs. Antini has a question.
Yes.
Would I be able to give a check number that I'd like someone to look into
Absolutely.
at this time? It is number, let's see, where did it go here? 1298. The date is July 15th, 2025.
Madam Chair, I amend my motion to remove check number 1298 from the approval and direct the superintendent to respond to Ms. Santini's inquiry.
Thank you, Mr.
Madam
Maynard.
Chair?
Yes, Ms. Santini.
Am I allowed to comment at all, or does
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Maynard just supersede right over me?
I thought you made your motion, and I thought your
Okay, I just thought
question was
perhaps if I
done.
could get an answer, what would be the point of putting everyone through it?
So
So it's not open, in other words, I don't have any rights, so it's not open to discussion,
No, we
is that
can,
correct?
we can absolutely discuss it, and I feel comfortable discussing this item because I asked the question myself of our superintendent and our chief financial officer. It was explained to me that was mileage reimbursement for the 24-25 school year. In our administrative policies, our administrator contract, certain administrators get a reimbursement for in-district travel of $1,500. That is part of their union contract. We have 3 contractual people. Ms. Wilson is not does not have that clause in her contract. She is entitled to mileage reimbursement with the submission of receipts, and that's what was explained to me.
Okay.
Does that
Well,
satisfy?
no, my question doesn't fall within that parameter, but I
Okay.
do appreciate the information.
Okay.
Because it's, it gives me resources. I'd like to know, because, well, 3 appointments since 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a login for all staff members here at CCS, where they log in mileage, the date, the time, where they went, how many miles, that type of thing? Is there a log, maybe a hard copy of some sort?
Thank you, Ms. Santini. Mr. Janzarek, do you feel comfortable at this time answering Mrs. Santini some of these questions?
Yes. So yes, in order to get a mileage reimbursement, you do have to submit the date and the location in terms of where you traveled to.
Can I also ask the question then, who's the individual that sees that, or designated person, or who actually does look at that log once it's been completed?
Are you comfortable answering the question? I'll get it.
I'll get it. Okay.
Goes to the business department for review in terms of the mileage. It's an Excel document that calculates based on the current IRS reimbursement amount. Then they put in their mileage, and then that mileage is calculated for the reimbursement based on how much we are allowed to get reimbursed for that travel.
Okay, I also, my question is as far as if I can be privy to know what does the log look something just generic? I have one here, it just shows date, driver, journey, time, mileage, start, finish? Or is it something perhaps that you can find on the Michigan.gov, where the Michigan Department of Education has different forms for different categories, of course, of learning? Can anybody give me a brief description? Is it very generic, or is it something perhaps more like that the Michigan Department of Education puts out?
I don't know what you have in your left hand in terms of the Michigan Department of Education, but I'd be more than happy to attach a copy of of a sample log for you of what it looks like for conferences for individuals in terms of what they supply to the business office for reimbursement on the next weekly update.
Okay, I would appreciate that. I have one other question, and I'm glad someone brought it up, because I pulled up the website on the IRS on mileage rates, and I was surprised to see that as the years, say in 2024, they have clarity of use, but it was 67 cents, and then in 2025 it was 70 cents. So it's really quite helpful because it's all in black and white, goes all the way down to 2011. But bringing that into focus of what I just said is can you tell me, so that I have a better knowledge and a grip on this, is when employees when they put in for this mileage, what is the time frame? Is it from January, the beginning of the year, and then the end of the year? What is the actual time frame when these are submitted, that amount of mileage is submitted for that beginning and end, or how is that done?
It's also something I can answer in the weekly update.
Okay, so he will respond to your question from the weekly update.
Okay, and my final thing, the only reason that I brought it to the attention, because it's my duty as a trustee and a duty to all the taxpayers in this district, is that it just seemed like an enormous amount of money when I don't know the parameter of time. Is it over a year? Is it over 2 years? Because it's $552.30. And that is also, just as the other person that's also on that accounting of $79.52, again, that was, to me, wanted to know, is it a year? Is it 6 months? Is it carried over? So that's quite a big chunk of money, and that it kind of stood out on the page. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Santini. Did you have any other checks you wanted to pull? Okay,
No,
thank you.
That's right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Ms. Valeria Noak, do you have questions?
Yeah, I just would like to make a request from this point forward. I know we haven't done this before, and I think maybe this is a good time to start better business practices. That the next time people ask for mileages, and I'm all in for giving people back their money, I would like to see a copy of that mileage log. I would like to be able to see it so that I can say, oh, okay, this is understandable, and I don't think we should be doing it over a year. I think there should be a reasonable amount of time, like get it within a month or two, so that it doesn't look like that it's this huge amount. That's just suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Valerio. No. Mr. Wilson, you have a question?
Yes, Madam President, I'm glad my colleagues brought this up because I took a lot of time to study this. I've been vocal. I do not agree with the mileage. Our administrators receive $1,500 that is paid the first week of January. $1,500. Like Trustee Zantini said, $552 is a lot. So I wonder how much is $1,500 is paid in January, paid before the school year is ended. So we have a person, we pay them January $1,500 for mileage, and they decide to take another job in March. We do have to look and compensate that money back. But I do agree with Trustee that $552 is a lot. I think this conversation should have been brought up January 1st. We pay people $1,500. Now, if you, let's do the numbers. $1,500 for mileage for administration. That's a lot of travel in and out of district. Our athletic director probably travels the most because he has to make meetings at Dakota or Warren Lincoln or schools like that. $1,500. January, first check of January, according to that contract, is excessive, especially if my colleagues think $550 is excessive. If we all do our homework before, we would know this. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Ms. Wilson?
Yeah, I agree with everything that's being said up here. I guess if we even look, what is this current rate? I think, Madam President, it's 70 cents.
70 cents.
If we did 70 cents or by the $1,500, how many miles would that be that a person would have to travel to meet that requirement? And I think we've talked about this before, that if there is monies left over at the end of the year, how is that accommodated for? I think it becomes a part of their salary. Is that correct, Madam President? I think that's what was said earlier in the year.
I will pull up my email.
So we know that that would be a lot of miles to travel to meet that 1,500 requirement, but I think that that it was said, and maybe you can ask our superintendent, that monies that they don't use goes back into their salary. But then if that is the case, what does that process look like? That may be another question for our superintendent, if he could provide that maybe at a later time.
I inquired, I apologize. Are you,
No,
are
yeah,
you finished
you're
with your,
good.
thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm good.
I see your hand, Ms. Valerio Noak. I want to respond to Ms. Wilson. I myself had several questions concerning the check run. In the past, we have received the check register. If we had questions on the check register, we were to email the superintendent, our chief financial officer. And I also asked, or in previous years, the president has also been CC'd on the correspondence. When I ask questions about the check register, I always attach Mr. Powers as a courtesy, since he is the finance chair. I did ask about check 1298. I will also list a few other questions that I had, but this will be in response to specifically the 1258. So it was for the 24-25 school year. I also asked about check 1299 for Carla Kelly, because it was my understanding that the reimbursement for admin was $1,500, and I thought that was mileage. The response that I got from the superintendent was this was for Carla. The conference event with DTE, the $1,500 is for in-district travel only. Administrators are not required to keep track of anything for the $1,500. So that was the response that I got. I don't know, Ken, do you feel comfortable? stating anything else? Do you want to follow up further in the weekly update? Because there does seem to be quite
I can follow up in the weekly update.
some questions, concerning this administrative reimbursement. Thank you.
I think,
Yes, Mr. Wilson?
Madam President, I do believe that it's in the contract for the administrators that, right now, currently is in the contract. I think moving forward, if a stipend is gonna be paid, a stipend should be paid in June, before the end of, when the end of the year ends, that June 30th. The superintendent can help me out here. I think the new budget comes out July 1. It was July. Yeah, well, yeah. But to pay a stipend in January, and that person still has to continue to work, just makes it difficult.
You are correct. I know this was the first time that administrators received a contract. Those are some really great items
Yes, ma'am.
for that negotiating committee, because that's one of many things that has been brought, at least to my attention, concerning that contract. So we will definitely keep those things under consideration. Mr. Jan Zarek will follow up with the board members concerning our concerns. Ms. Santini, do you still want the check held until you receive all these responses? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so we're pulling, so
Yes,
we're gonna
ma'am.
pull 1298 until we get clarification. Was there any other board members that had questions or concerns concerning the approval of the bills?
I just have a concern on this.
Yes,
particular
Mr.
question.
Maynard.
It was stated that I was somehow stopping somebody from speaking, and that's just not the truth. My motion, to be clear, was to pull the check so that she can get any and all answers that she wanted on it, even if she didn't get them at the board table. Number two, the prior way it was done, you were correct in some statements, Madam President. The only reason I had myself as president added on was the same reason Michael Scott had his self added on, was so that he can come back to you and say, did you get your questions answered? And there are multiple meetings, Madam President, where I asked you on the record, did you get your questions answered? Because I was aware of them. And had you not gotten your questions answered, and had you not been satisfied, which we did a couple of times, we continued to pull and pay the check. As far as the $1,500 is concerned for the administration, it is concerning to me that our administration thinks that they don't have to keep records for that. That is a stipend. Nowhere in the contract that I read do they have the option of not turning something in for that. That is a stipend. And whatever you don't use out of your stipend gets 1099 to you for your taxes on the end. Ask your accountant, ask an IRS agent. They'll tell you the same thing. If you receive a stipend, it's income. And you have to account for that income. So if we're not accounting for the $1,500 that we are giving them, then that's a serious situation that I would hope the president sees to it that the administration rectifies. Unless the contract says they don't have to do it, which I don't recall reading that, we don't want to get ourselves in any particular pickle. So my apologies to Mrs. Antini if she thought I was cutting her off, but I wanted to make sure you got everything that you required on that. And then on that other thing, I would like to know inside of the weekly report, this $1,500, it needs to be done. And then the answers to Ms. Santini, because she did bring up different points, $552 at 70 cents, or $552 at 70 cents. If that was all in 1 year, we need to know that. But if it was when it was 65 cents in 2024 or whatever it is, then we need to make sure that that number is submitted correctly. And she is absolutely right on that particular point. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Santini?
Just for clarification, is that, through the chair, is that the reason that I commented about trustee Maynard saying that, because it wasn't even, my breath had even, I took a second breath, you know, you jumped in so quickly that anyone, I think, would agree that it looked like you were taking away, that I wouldn't be able to speak. So maybe you, perhaps that you were looking out for me and advising and whatever, then I appreciate that. But I think you should pause a little bit and let an individual catch their breath and their thoughts, and it's, I think, a very normal reaction. But I can speak for myself. I don't have to have other colleagues look out for me. That's why I always have asked a lot of questions from Mr. Maynard when he sat in the center seat, or Mr. Scott that did. But you know, I think patience is a virtue, and give that person a chance to get their thoughts out and their questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Santini. I saw Ms. Wilson's hand go up. Did you have something to?
Yes, I do.
Yep.
Thank you, Madam President. I just, a couple things here. I think that as far as Mrs. Wilson's mileage, that goes, because she is, from what I understand, is not a part of the stipend, so that goes through the electronic approval process, correct?
Yes.
And so the check that she would get has been verified and validated through multiple, the process or whatever. So we're scrutinizing the check that she received. So I just want to be cognizant that this, you know, amount for mileage hasn't appeared on a check registry before, and that person wasn't brought to the board's attention. I want to be really cognizant that we're not singling out anybody. I'm not saying that anybody is singling out anybody, but we know with her mileage, it goes through a process, and then she gets her check, right? So I just want to make sure that I'm making that clear, because I don't want it to appear to anyone that they may be pointing out for mileage that they, I believe, are going on travel for the district, and yet this is the person that we may be scrutinizing their mileage. And just to reiterate, or just to go back and reconfirm, so are we getting just a check that's then a copy, the request is a copy of the check only, or is it also with the log details behind it and the approval of the mileage? Is that, Madam President?
I would like to see, since there is quite a bit of question of this, in my 4 years of being on the board, I don't imminently recall a mileage check of this amount. So whether or not, you know, Ms. Wilson is being scrutinized, I don't feel that that's the case. This is a large amount, so I think there were questions on the parameters of everything, of question. I would like to see the superintendent in the weekly report answer some of these questions, and then to the satisfaction of the board, that will be in his weekly report, and then we would follow up that the check could be either submitted or still held until we have more of our questions answered. Does that answer your question, Ms.
I
Wilson?
do have one more comment. I
Yes.
believe that Mrs. Wilson, in my time of being here, traveled to Ohio, I think, for a training, or Lansing, or somewhere. And I do recall seeing, I don't know the date, a larger check for mileage,
Okay,
just as an FYI.
thank you.
But thank you.
Yep. I saw Ms. Valerio Noak's hand, and then I will recognize Ms. Santini as well. Go
Well,
ahead.
the only thing that I wanted to bring up is that when I looked at the number of $552, we did the math a little bit on a calculator, only to find out that covers about 800 miles. Now, if she did go to Ohio, I could kind of understand that, that's, you know, but even Ohio is not that many miles away. And that's why I was wondering if it's over a long period of time. When trustee Wilson brought up that the athletic director has to drive all over the place, I agree. I think we have to be totally aware of what each job requires of that person, travel-wise and so forth. An athletic director probably does need to go to a lot of places, a lot of games away, conferences, whatever. Someone who is more in the administrative doesn't have to do that much traveling. That's why the alarm bell went off on me. Her job did not really require a lot of traveling. And so that's why, in me personally, why I started wondering what was going on. And that's why I would like to see copies of the law.
Detailed report.
Saying this is where they went. And it's not just for her, it's for anybody that works for Clintondale Community School. Even me, if I were to ask for mileage, I would expect myself to turn in a mileage and say, this is where I was, this is how much I, need for gas, please, could you reimburse me? And I would have no problem with that. And I think anybody who works in any kind of business, school, whatever, they would understand, this is what you gotta do. You gotta be fair. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Santini?
Yes, I'd like to agree with our Madam Secretary, because I did the math at just 60 cents a mile for just $500, not the $522.30. It's 833 miles. Then also, a trustee mentioned there was another time that there was mileage reported under that check registry, and it was in 2023, and I have all the bills right here in my hand, and that even at 60 cents a mile, at $147, because that's what's reported in the bills, that would be 245 miles, which would equal a 4-hour trip, 2 hours each way. But I agree with Madam Secretary and everything that she said. I concur everything that she said, and that it just stands out. But this is for everyone. This is for everyone that works for CCS. This is an isolated case. It jumped out at the page, and it's my job to do my due diligence and ask those questions for the good of the district as well as the taxpayers. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Santini. I think I heard, Mr. Wilson?
Yes, I do agree that $552 is a lot. So what is $1,500? We're not gonna single out one person, because if we have repeatedly said, Madam President, that $552 is a lot. And of course, I have privy to it. I do know Ms. Wilson kept records. I do know Mrs. Wilson turned in records. So how much is $1,500? How many miles is $1,500? That's quite a significant amount. That's 3 times the argument that we're wasting our time on going back and forth. Not one time have someone said $1,500 is a lot.
It is.
It is, but since Mrs. Wilson's African American, that's all we talk about.
And I think
Miss-
it's
Oh, no, excuse me,
Miss-
I'm listening to you, Madam President. $1,500 is 3 times the amount of $500. Not one time was that mentioned. Am I right?
You are correct. I believe several board members said $1,500
Is excessive.
is excessive.
And I don't,
And because it's in the administrator's contract now,
yes, ma'am.
right now, there's nothing that this board can do about that.
Correct, which.
So
which
when we
still-
do go to negotiations, and I think it's been brought up a few times before,
Correct.
that is one thing that definitely needs to be renegotiated for their contract.
And I agree with Mr. Mayor. It should, if there's nowhere where it said that logs should not be kept, then all logs should be turned in. Has that been requested?
I did not specifically ask for a log.
Of course not. Of course not.
I believe
Yes, ma'am.
that our CFO does due diligence in keeping track of the receipts and the logs. I don't feel it's unquestionable for any of us to ask to see those receipts. We can absolutely ask to see those receipts to anything on this bill run. We are absolutely allowed to go into administration and say, hey, Presley, can you pull this for me? Or Sherry, can you pull this for me? I'd like further inquiry. I believe when I was elected president, I told both you and Ms. Wilson, typically what we do before our meetings is we go through the check register. If we have questions,
Yes,
we need to, so I think we need, this, we have a process of checks and balances, and I have faith and trust in our superintendent and our chief financial officer that they have the records that are needed. I have every faith and trust that those records will be submitted, and if any board member has questions in the future, I commend you, and I ask you to please do your due diligence in asking those questions before the board meeting, and getting your answers and satisfying your questions.
Yes, Madam President, but we did not follow that policy today. That's why we've been on this for 30 minutes. We request to whatever we need to request, and we move on. But to kick the can down the road,
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Ms. Wilson, go ahead,
Point
follow
here.
up.
Madam President, who approves Mrs. Wilson's mileage?
Mr. Janzarek, are you comfortable answering that question?
Mayor Presley.
You and Preston.
So we have a two-way approval process for Mrs. Wilson's travel. And she's probably one of few that gets her mileage approved or denied. We have said on this, we have had members of the board say, let the superintendent do his job. But here we have in this case, I guess that is not the case in this case. It's a comment, but that has been said. And so now here we are, second guessing not only our superintendent, but our CFO on the approval of the mileage for Mrs. Wilson. So that's why I say that there is, not only does Mrs. Wilson hand in her records, not only does it go through the CFO, not only does it go through the superintendent, and then it gets to the board and there are alarm bells, okay, whatever, because they see the amount. However, that amount has been approved by CFO and the superintendent. And so this is why I'm saying, let's not single any one person out based on what is here when there have been not one, but two layers of approval. And I get it, people want to see what it is and how it is, but it's just very interesting that that gets singled out when it's gone through two layers of approval.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson, thank you. Board members? Yes, Mr. Powers?
I'm sorry, could the chair please clarify what the motion is before the board?
Yes, I will interject and say and let the record reflect that Mr. Powers arrived at 6:41 PM. Your question, Mr. Powers, is we're at the point on the agenda of approval of the bills. Mr. Maynard made the motion, Mr. Wilson supported that motion. Ms. Zontini asked that check number 1298 for $552.30 be pulled, unless somebody could have an explanation as to what it was all about. I had submitted request prior, asking that question, so I shared the information that I received, that it was for mileage reimbursement for the 24-25 school year, and for the past 35 minutes or so, we've all been expounding, comments and things like that. So that's where we're at on this matter. We're at approval of the bills.
First of all, I want to apologize for my tardiness.
Thank you,
Second of
Mr.
all, as you may know, I'm disabled. And I've asked many times of you and other colleagues, if you could please keep that rear access door wedged open so that I don't have to enter and take the extra steps. And also so I don't have to rap on the door rudely interrupt this whole process and throw people off, and Ms. Zontini was kind enough to go, so.
Thank you, Mr.
If
Bowers.
that request for an accommodation is unreasonable, then I will see if I can come up with another way to ask for you to accommodate my disability. So I do want to apologize for rapping on the door. Ms. Zontini, thank you so much. Sorry to interrupt everybody. But I think the record should reflect I have asked several times that be open for me. Perhaps you would come back and say, well, Mr. Powers, if you were on time, then you wouldn't have to
I
disturb
would
anybody.
never.
But as
I would
you all
never.
know, I do try to maintain a busy law practice, and there are some demands on my client's time. And so I think I've had a pretty good record of attendance, although not necessarily a good record of being on time. So I do apologize for that, but appreciate my colleagues understanding that. So as I understand it, Mr. Maynard made an unequivocal motion to approve the bills as is without exception?
Yes, he made the motion to approve the bills. Mr. Wilson supported that motion, and then when I asked for discussion, Ms. Santini had questions concerning this check.
But I did understand Mr. Maynard had some questions on his own motion, so I'm not sure if he has reservations about that motion, or if he's modified the motion and chooses to do it again. I'm not trying to go out of order, but
No,
just trying to understand what is before us.
I understand. Yes, Mr. Maynard.
Just for the record, the motion from me, when Mrs. Zontini started questioning 1298, was to pull 1298.
Correct.
Just as if we would always do. So I'm fine with pulling
Okay.
1298, and whatever questions that can be gleaned from the video from each one of us, I would expect to be answered in the appropriate manner.
Thank you, Mr. Maynard, and again, I apologize to you as well for having asked you questions for my tardiness. Is 1298, is that a reimbursement that's already been paid to the applicant?
The check has not been issued because we have not approved the bills.
Okay, so until the board approves it, the money does not go from the board treasury to the applicant?
That is correct.
And am I to understand that the applicant is the wife of trustee Kurt Wilson?
Yes, that is correct. The
And
amount,
And
yes.
that the applicant is also the wife of the brother of trustee Lisa Wilson, is that right?
Yes, yes. Gotcha.
So, I guess I have a point of order, it may be moot, and with all respect to my esteemed colleague, Mr. Wilson, and my other esteemed colleague, Ms. Wilson, if a matter be up for vote before the board involves a blood relative or by marriage of one of the board members, then I would think it incumbent upon, not us, but the board member who has a nepotism relationship to bring forward that important fact, and that because of the relationship between the applicant and the board member, I would think, would want to recuse himself, not only from the vote on the question, but from the discussion. It's a little less clear with the sister-in-law of the applicant. She's not related by blood or by first degree of marriage, first degree of filial relationship. However, we knew this day was going to come, and apparently it's here. It's both here and it's not here. I guess on the one hand, it's here in that there was a motion made concerning Mrs. Wilson, and there was a second made by Mrs. Wilson's husband to approve monies going to his wife. And I'm wondering, is it just me that has some pause about that? And why should it be on one of us to bring that up in such an awkward situation and be accused of singling somebody out or being accused of picking on somebody, when it is the very person who's got a nepotistic relationship who has their obligation to bring that up? So it seems to me, and again, I wasn't here, so not only was that not volunteered, but this trustee endorsed the motion, seconded the motion, and the chair acknowledged that. And so now I come late to the game, and it's incumbent upon me now to be the guy who has to address something that may not be entirely comfortable. Well, our job's not being about comfortable. Our job's about protecting this district. So I personally resent that I have to be the one to bring this up, but I do have to bring it up. Second, my brother did something else. In support of this money going to his wife, which he doesn't have any right to speak about at all, he goes so far as to accuse those who have the audacity to even raise the question of reviewing it as you're singling out somebody on the basis of race. Is that, my brothers and sisters, what this body has come to? Is this the depths to which we are going to sink? The lack of respect we have for each other? So when I hear this, I'm not sure who spoke in scrutiny. Well, I heard Ms. Zantini. Seems like the axe is falling on your neck. Perhaps Mr. Maynard had the audacity to question it or ask for more information. Maybe the axe is falling on his neck. Ms. Sister Valerio now questioned it. I'm not sure if the axe falls on her neck. The chair, I don't know if the chair is being accused of endorsing racism. This is a crucial issue. It's an indelible part of our American history. And if we're going to stoop to making such a heinous accusation against our brothers and sisters on the board, I mentioned the word carpetbagger, and I got gabbled down for being both unscrupulous, uncivil, and unethical. Carpetbagger, I was just merely trying to protect the district from an outsider who I perceived to be an outsider with some basis. But now this gentleman accuses members, esteemed members of this board, elected and appointed, as acting out of the basis of racial animus, and the chair does not gavel, gavel, gavel to high heaven? Shame on you, Chairman Kaminsky. Do I look to my brother here to my right? I can't say as I even blame the gentleman. I hold the gentleman in great esteem. I consider him a friend, and you know what? I applaud the gentleman. I applaud the gentleman for leveling that heinous, ugly accusation. And the reason I do is because it shows that he loves his wife. And he wants the best for his wife. And he wants his wife, damn it, to get every bit of that $552.30. And he'll even go so far to get that $552 to accuse my brothers and sisters. Pardon me, I have the floor.
Point of order.
Engaging in
Mr. Powers.
invidious racism.
Point of
That's
order.
I have the floor for 10 minutes.
Point of order.
No, you're out of order.
Point of order
The chair
has
is out of
been
order.
called.
I have the floor. I would ask
Mr.
somebody. I will start
Powers,
keeping my own time.
I ask-
I am complimenting my brother for loving his wife. And this is what it's come to. So I
Mr.
put
Powers,
the question.
I am warning
I
you.
understand how
A
the chair is
point
uncomfortable
of
with my.
order
I understand why the
has
chair
been
wants to
called,
gag me. The
and
chair
a
does not like
vote
what I'm saying.
will commence.
If I were you and you didn't like what somebody's saying, I'd try to gag me too. But I'm not going to be gagged.
Mr. Powers, I've allowed you to speak. A point of
I'm
order
going to
has been
finish speaking.
called, and we
There's
will
no
now
point of order.
take
I
a
have the
vote.
floor. No, no, you will not take the vote because I have a right to ask.
Mr.
I have a right to
Powers.
ask my brother, who exactly is he accusing of invidious racism?
Miss-
Mention them by name. Is it Ms. Zantini?
Point of
Is
order.
it Mr. Maynard? Is it
Mr.
Ms. Boyer?
Powers,
Now
I
look
have-
them in the eye and
I
accuse them
have
of being a
warned
racist. You brought it up. You're saying that they're
Point of
anti-black
order.
racists.
Mr.
You put them in their
Powers.
eye, call them a racist, let them have a chance to defend
I
themselves, and I
have
hope you will
warned
defend
you.
yourselves if it takes till 3 a.m. I'm
I
not
have
going to
warned
sit
you,
here.
Mr.
I'm not going to be
Powers.
gabbled down and listen to my
I-
brother call my other
Point
brothers
of
and
order.
sisters a
Mr.
racist. There's no
Powers.
basis for it. I will not tolerate it. And
Mr.
shame on you for
Powers.
tolerating it.
Point of order.
Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Point of order, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, this is the point of order. Now, I may or may not have liked what was just said. I'm going to keep my comments to myself. However, there is a point, and I did not catch it, and I am at fault, just as all 7 of us are here. Mr. Wilson, I have to apologize, because you are ineligible to vote
Correct.
on your wife's thing, period, anything to do with your wife financially.
Correct.
It is clear in the wall, okay? I believe that my motion no longer stands
You are
without
correct.
having a valid second. So I will make a new motion that says, I move to approve the bills with the exception of, I'm sorry, is it
1298.
1298, to make sure that all questions presented by all board members during this discussion are answered by the superintendent.
I will support that motion. That being stated, Mr. Wilson, you are ineligible to vote,
Correct.
okay? Go ahead.
According to the MASB, myself and Mrs. Lisa is ineligible to vote.
You are correct.
Right. I am not ineligible for the discussion. I talked to the lawyer.
You are correct.
Right.
Yes.
So Mr. Powers said I was ineligible for discussion. I can discuss. I cannot vote. My sister cannot because it's a financial gain in the household. So not just me, I understand that my sister cannot vote also. And Miss Wilson cannot vote also. But I'm going to go to the vote because I'd be willing to answer Mr. Powers' question. Loud talk don't scare me.
Madam President, I'm sorry.
Yes, Ms. Wilson.
This is not the first time that we voted on bills, Mr. Wilson and I, where Mrs. Wilson was on the check registry.
Correct.
So there is a difference today because she's on here, they're pulling the check, but this has happened time and time again, and we have voted and no one has said anything. If I was supposed to recuse myself, it was never, it's not written anywhere that I've seen that if a relation is on a check registry or anything of that nature, that we should do anything. This is a reimbursement. It is not a financial gain as to say, here is a check and go on about your way. How do we handle a reimbursement of expenses? That, to me, does not hold the same weight. We should still be able to vote on the check registry if she is on here to get a reimbursement. How is that a financial gain, Madam President, to their household when it's a reimbursement?
You are correct, Ms. Wilson, in stating that. I thought I was very clear when I spoke to MASB, Mr. Branchek, concerning voting matters. I think as it's my understanding of the verbiage, it is concerning monetary. And although I understand it's a reimbursement, it is a monetary transaction. Number one, they're asking to pull the check. They're not asking, the statement has been made to recuse.
Madam President, point of order.
Yes, Mr. Maynard.
If the check is pulled, which my motion says to approve the bill is polling the check,
Correct.
then there would be no direct benefit because we're not voting on that check
Correct.
tonight.
Right.
You are
But
correct.
we would be in the future voting on that. So I would ask that you contact Brad at MASB. Give him the exact tape.
Parameters.
Give him the tape of what was discussed here tonight to see for when this comes back on September's bill run, that we know exactly what needs to be done. I would ask that, please, because if we have
Absolutely.
done this before, and I feel if we have, and I have not, because I look at those bills and I have not paid. you know,
Agreed.
Okay, if we've done this before, then we need to fix what we've done, and we need to have a clear understanding so everybody knows going forward. But the point of order, I believe, is the check has been pulled, so it's no longer part of the approval
Of the
tonight.
package.
Of the package. So then I would say, since it's no longer a point of the approval, or part of the approval, and I see no other I just looked online, I see no other Teresa Wilson
No, there is
on the
not.
bill run, then I would feel comfortable with Mr. Wilson and
And
Ms.
Ms.
Wilson voting at this time. And I would think that, since we pulled the offending item, that I would think that that would roll. But I also, this whole discussion we had up here, it's a discussion we all have to have.
Agreed.
I mean, that was the whole discussion, and I'm not, I don't know who, anyway, I don't want to talk anything out of my point of order,
Yes,
but maybe somebody else can convince me I'm wrong.
thank you. I saw Mr. Powers' hand go up.
Well, this is silly. Mr. Wilson just said he can't vote, he understands it, but he can second the motion?
No.
I mean, what kind of a meeting is being run here? What kind of Robert's rules are being followed? I don't understand this. I mean, this is an insult.
Mr.
So
Powers.
are you saying, Madam Chair, Mr. Maynard can make a motion, and Mr. Wilson can second a motion that he's not even qualified to vote on?
Mr. Powers, Mr. Maynard withdrew his motion. He articulated the new motion of pulling of the check. I supported that motion. So the motion is by Mr. Maynard, supported by Ms. Kaminsky. Mr. Wilson did not. And as Mr. Maynard articulated, being that the offended item is no longer on the register to vote, there is no financial ambiguity for Mr. Wilson and Ms. Wilson. Does that satisfy your curiosity, Mr. Powers?
Thank the chair for the response.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. Yes, Ms. Santini.
When we have this next meeting, as Mr. Maynard said, will we be able to give different comments or questions? Because I really felt that there was kind of a diversion play going on, that there were representatives here at this board that wanted to talk more about the $1,500 to kind of diminish what we were really talking about. In other words, we went in a whole other direction, so the attention and the eyeballs would be on that ball rather than the ball over here. So I think there's some underliningness to that there's a lot of truth to that. Watch the moving ball here, not the ball moving over here. It was very clear. It also, I think, came very clear to me is that I felt as if I was being attacked, that somehow I, singled somebody out for whatever reason. Commentary by people, and it's further from the truth. And I think it's sad. I agree with Mr. Powers, is that it's everyone's duty, regardless who the individual is, to shed a light of transparency and honesty. And really the whole bulk of this was, the main question is, what's the parameter of time? You can't look at a number and just say, well, it was approved by so-and-so and so-and-so, if someone does not understand where it began, where it ends. What are we talking about? So again, watch the ball over here, folks. Don't pay attention to this one. Whether it was approved or not, it's just like Mr. Maynard agreed with me. Was it 60 cents? Was it 70 cents? But it was all the attraction to flip it, because I think there's agenda. There are some folks that have agenda to beat up on this 1,500. Not that I'm saying I don't agree with a lot of the points that are brought up, but there is something more than meets the eye, and I think it's very obvious to people. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms.
Madam Chair.
Santini. Mr. Powers, I will recognize you in one moment. I would like to make a statement. I think we're very clear on the question of the mileage. It's been stated many times that we all saw the amount, and that raised question as to the amount for the length of time. Yes, there was conversation concerning the other administrative mileage reimbursement, but I think we're very clear that our superintendent will be following up with us on the line item of the mileage, the 67 cents, the 70 cents. A future discussion that will be held when we go into negotiations is the the line item of the $1,500. I don't believe it was pull a rabbit out of your hat, but I believe that our superintendent will give us the answers we need on check number 1298 for clarification. I can't remember if it was Mr. Powers or thank you, Mr. Wilson. Mr. Powers, go ahead.
No, I'll yield, thank you.
Are you yielding to me, Mr. Powers?
I'll yield to whomever the chair wants to recognize.
Mr. Powers, I will recognize you. Mr. Powers?
No, I said I will yield, and then
Oh.
Mr. Maynard said, are you yielding to me? And I said, I'll
Okay.
yield to whomever the chair chooses to
Okay,
recognize.
I saw Powers, Wilson, and then I saw Maynard.
I just want to make sure that you are clear. I am not, and I apologize to Mr. Powers and Mr. Wilson for over-talking. I'm not saying you delegate this to Ken. On your lunch hour, call Brad.
Oh, I will.
You
Yes.
call Brad.
Yes.
Felicia Kaminsky.
I will be following up, but as far as the question to how this all transpired, we asked our superintendent to give us an answer. So yes, we do need an answer
Okay.
from our superintendent.
Just make sure.
But yes, I will state for the record that first thing tomorrow morning, I'll be reaching out to Brad concerning everything that was said at this meeting for
Thank you.
clarification.
I just wanted, that was my. I
Absolutely,
apologize for
Mr.
the-
Maynard.
I wanted to make sure that was the case.
Thank you. Mr. Wilson, you're good?
Yeah, I'm just listening.
Okay.
So we take a 5-minute break.
I would like to call a 5-minute recess. It
You
is
have a motion?
7:30. Oh, I
Madam
can't.
Chair, you
Yeah,
have a
you're right. I
motion.
have a motion on the floor. We had a board member step away.
I second Ms. Valero now's motion.
No, I can't. We have this motion to vote on the check registry. I can't call.
Well, I can go through the roll and we'll get the people for last.
I'm okay with
So,
that.
and that-
As I say, I apologize for parliamentary procedure. I am
Yeah, no, no.
not familiar with if a board member steps away. Madam Secretary, please take the roll on approval of the bills with the deletion of check number 1298.
I mean, the suspension.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Trustee Maynard,
Yes.
President Kaminsky,
Votes yes.
Trustee Valentini,
It's the motion to approve the bills, taking more check out to get the answers.
Yes, thank you.
Trustee, do I call on Trustee Wilson?
The item has been removed. Both Mr. Wilson and Ms. Wilson can vote on this item.
And Ms. Rodriguez?
Yep, thank you.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Treasurer Powers?
No.
Secretary Valerio Nell? Yes. Vice President Wilson?
Yes.
And that's it.
Motion passes
6-1.
6-1. Thank you, Mrs. Valeria Noak. Correspondence, Superintendent and the Board President.
I'm sorry, Madam Chairman, I'd like to be recognized.
Yes, Mr. Powers.
I'd like to make a motion, this is a motion that I'm able to make under Robert's Rules of Order without having it placed on the agenda. I'm in the terrible position of having to move to censure my brother Kurt Wilson for conduct unbecoming of a board member. I think before doing so, we should allow Mr. Wilson the opportunity to explain his comment or apologize or withdraw it. But what I understood he did was he accused 4 of my brothers and sisters of racism for singling out Mrs. Wilson's request for reimbursement. So we have Trustee Zontini, Trustee Maynard, Secretary Valerio Nell, and President Kaminsky. So if Mr. Wilson does not come forward to justify that he has evidence that the decision for one of our brothers and sisters to conduct him or herself was based on invidious racial discrimination or racial animus, then he has a duty to come forward and say, I happen to know that that decision was motivated in large part, if not entirely, at least predominantly by whatever that person's race is, racism, meaning that this person is violating their oath of office under the 14th Amendment to give equal protection of the laws, and that's a very serious accusation. We all take an oath to uphold the Constitution. One of our members has accused 4 of our members of violating their constitutional oaths. And if we don't censure somebody for doing that, it's just going to come down the pike again and again and again. And for my own part, I know that if I were here and I spoke first, I would probably be the one that has been leveled that accusation again. I take my constitutional oath very seriously. So if it's impugned, I defend it. But if I see my brothers and sisters having their constitutional oaths impeached, it's incumbent upon me. This is not fun for me. I don't enjoy doing this. But it's incumbent upon me to take a stand. So I think it's time for Mr. Wilson, if he's got evidence, as against each one. And I want to hear evidence against Ms. Zontini. Not lumped everybody together. Tell me what evidence you have, Ms. Who are you calling a racist to begin with? If it's Ms. Zontini, give her a right to be heard and defend herself. Tell her what evidence you have of anti-racial animus. Mr. Maynard, same thing. Ms. Valerio Noak, same thing. Ms. Kaminsky, the same thing. And then everybody should have an opportunity to do that. Short of that, then I would put it to my esteemed brother. It's incumbent upon you to withdraw that statement and to apologize. If that's done, I will withdraw my motion to censure and we can move forward. But none of us has the right to stand up here and accuse any other of us of violating his or her constitutional oaths unless you have darn good evidence to back that up. And you can't just throw these things out. I can't call somebody a pederast. I can't call somebody who doesn't pay his debts. I can't accuse somebody of unchastity. And our position on this board does not give us the discretion to do that. And I will not be gagged, Madam Chairman, when I perform my constitutional oath. And with respect to the chair, the office of the chair, if you gavel me down, then you better be able to cite how your constitutional obligations are superior to mine, because I have a constitutional obligation and a right to bring this up. I would invite a second. Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. Santini?
I second the motion of Mr. Powers'
Thank you.
motion.
Board members, there is a motion on the floor for censuring Mr. Wilson.
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Maynard?
this issue has to be talked about. But here's the question. There's a whole policy that we voted on, and our policies trump Robert's Rules of Order, and Robert's Rules of Order come into effect when we don't have a policy. So what does our policy say? Because I'm gonna be honest, for the first 6 months, Mr. Powers and I were called that word weekly, every meeting, and it gets under your skin. However, if there's a policy, then I think we need to follow the policy. And if it was heat of the moment, I don't know, then it was heat of the moment, I guess. I don't know what Mr. Wilson felt. But Mr. Wilson should have the same time under the policy to say what goes on. So, is there a policy? I think there is.
The question is whether to censure Mr. Wilson. That's the question. You're not speaking to the question. Chairman, I suggest that the trustee is out of order.
Mr. Powers, I do believe that we do have a policy on that. And forgive me, I am
The policy is that we follow
relatively
Robert's Rules of Order. Robert's Rules of Order allows a censure motion at any time.
if we have policy on that supersedes Robert's rules.
Bring it on.
My conundrum is that now I have a motion on the floor. I cannot ask for a recess to pull policy. So I would ask for grace from our audience, from our television
Your Honor,
staff.
I'm sorry,
And I would like to
then-
pull the policy, I would like to pull the policy.
There's a motion on the table, there's a second, we're having discussion, I call the question. Let's have a vote on the motion. I'm entitled to a vote.
Well, point of order, does Mr. Wilson get to answer your charge?
I'm not the chairman.
Madam Chair?
Well, now Mr. Powers has called the question, so I take a vote. That's policy, that's procedure.
Okay.
Do we have discussion
Mr. Powers called the question, we take a vote.
on the question? No discussion? Okay.
So Mr. Powers made the motion, Ms. Santini supported the motion to censure Mr. Wilson for, yes, and then Mr. Wilson, should this motion pass, be given the opportunity to speak. I'm asking for,
He should have it now.
you should, even after calling to question,
He's been
I'm,
accused of,
Okay.
he's been accused of, he's being censured for a remark he made. The motion was, if he would give his time and pull his comment back, then everything would go away. That was the whole
Okay.
portion of the motion. So if we're not gonna give him time, then, and we're not gonna give him the ability to explain himself and what he may have said, then fine. That is on all of us.
We're having, are we having
thank you,
discussion?
Miss, thank you.
Is this being brought to us under Robert's rule, am I understanding, or our own policy? Because my understanding of Robert's rule, and I don't know, maybe you can answer the question, Madam President, is that if we are to follow Robert's rule, it has to be a formal process.
That's correct.
And so do we have a formal process to follow Robert's rule?
We have a policy as to what the policy is. I really need to look at that policy. Yes, Ms.
May
Lawyer?
may I interject?
Please do.
I'm gonna make a suggestion. I think we should give, Mr. Wilson the opportunity now to say whether he would like to have that chance to make a statement or not. If he does not wanna make a statement, and he stands, okay, no, I'm just saying, if you wanna make a statement, let him make the statement, and then we can, from that point on, decide whether we even need a vote.
I think we need to understand, is this being adopted, do we have Robert's rule? Because I haven't seen anything in our bylaws about Robert's rule. Maybe I'm,
There is not.
okay, so in order for us to adopt Robert's rule of order, this has to be something inserted into our bylaws. That's why I'm asking. So I'm trying to hopefully prevent any type of mistake here. That's
Thank
why I'm
you.
asking, is Robert's rule a part of our bylaws? And if,
Right, no, and I understand that question. However, Mr. Maida brought up a really good point.
but
Mr.
under Robert's
Powers-
rules,
Yeah, no.
which we don't have.
Mr. Powers did say that if there was an apology, or if Mr. Wilson made a statement, he would
Yeah,
take it.
I totally agree. I'm totally aligned with that, and that's for Mr.
But
Wilson.
I'm just trying to see where we can expedite this.
Yeah,
because-
I am too, but I want to make sure that we are following the right rules.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I
but if
think
that's-
Mr. Powers said Robert's rules.
Okay.
But according to Robert's rules, no, I just want to make sure we're all doing the right thing. According to Robert's rules, it says that it should be inserted into our bylaws in the appropriate place. I personally have not seen anything in our bylaws, so I just want to make sure we're following proper protocol for the next step, whatever it is for Mr. Wilson. That's all that I'm saying.
I do not recall, I see you, Ms. Zantini, and I
Thank
will
you.
recognize you. I do not recall seeing in our bylaws the statement of going to Robert's rules. We do have a policy on censure. under the Code of Ethics, which is the Series 2000, policy number 2303, and I am trying to go down that policy for clarification. Ms. Santini, I will recognize you while I
Researching.
researching.
Okay.
But I'm listening.
Just for clarification, okay? I want to make sure and whatever. But didn't Mr. Powers, before he made his motion, gave Mr. Wilson time to respond, to say whether he wanted to speak or not? It sounds like now everyone's saying that, everyone has a right to speak. It's their constitutional right, okay? But I thought usually most people respond, because he said it he said it like 3 times. Did he, I didn't hear him respond, but correct me if I'm wrong. Did he respond and say no? That's where I want my clarification.
Mr.
You know what
Wilson,
You know what my question is? Do I have the right to know that? Did he respond no when our treasurer said that he could comment or give commentary or whatever that he chose to speak on? Was it recognized as a no? Or give me a few moments?
No, it was a conditional motion. I said unless he does that, then I will go forward with
Okay.
my motion, and he didn't do it, so the
Okay.
motion has to go forward.
Right.
I think it has to go through
You
the
know,
president, Madam
you know-
President.
Yes,
Out of respect.
correct.
Out of
So
respect to Madam
it's
President.
on condition. So then why are we now,
Perhaps we can just
then I
recognize.
guess why
let's
I'm
recognize the
saying,
gentleman, yeah.
and I understand what you just said, because I'm not that dense, okay? But I'm saying then, why is it now that everyone's saying, we have to give Mr. Wilson a chance to talk? I don't understand. Are we going to get a response, or are we just gonna sit here in silence? Is there a response or not? I don't.
I was trying to seek clarification.
The policy, as I recall, because I've been on policy since 2023, is that
Yes.
anyone has a right to censure someone, as long as they have a second and it goes for the board. That's in our policy, okay? I don't need it in front of me. I know it is,
Okay.
it is that, okay? Because I looked into censure back in 2023, and also I did it with Mr. Maynard. So Mr. Maynard maybe can give his input, because he knows that book like the back of his hand. And am I?
I don't think anybody objects to the gentleman.
I was gonna say,
Chair.
I believe we're at
And a
the
board member has a right to
discussion.
censure someone.
Well,
Yes.
Mr. Maynard,
let
can
the
you
man
add
speak.
to that? Because you're knowledgeable.
Perhaps we can just let the gentleman speak.
I believe that Mr. Wilson,
Yes, ma'am.
would you like to
I can-
respond
I can
to
respond.
Mr. Powers?
As in Mr. Powers comes in, regardless of what time he came in, he probably came in the middle or at the end. And my statement was, we wouldn't be here if she wasn't African American. Now, if you took that as being a racist, that's your perception. That's who you are. That's not me. I went to Lakeshore. I don't deal with racism or whatever. I don't say carpetbaggers, Mason-Dixon line, any of that stuff. I don't care for that. I understand what's going on here. I fully understand. I don't go around calling people racist at all. What I said was what I said. We have people in this district, one supervisor, one subordinate. Nothing has been said. Nothing. Why not? I talked to Ms. Kaminsky about this several times. Why not? Never been said. Nepotism has been thrown around, without a doubt. We have other people in this district that not one thing has been said about nepotism. Now, with the check register, Mrs. Wilson, my conversation was not to support Mrs. Wilson, Mr. Powers, at all. My conversation was, like my conversation with the superintendent, I do not agree with the mileage policy. I do not agree with the mileage policy for anyone. I don't care who it is. And my superintendent, that I've said this to him several times. So I'm not up here to defend Mrs. Wilson. I'm up here to talk about the policy. That's all I talked about. Mr. Powers was right. I cannot vote. Understand? But my whole issue before Mr. Powers came in, and to Felicia, Ms. Kaminsky, was about the policy that we're receiving. $1,500 is excess. So I'm not trying to deter you or nothing like that. You know, I'm not a racist. I don't care. What you think about me. My comment was, this is why I said it. Now, if you take that as, well, I don't like, but no. That was not what I meant or what I referred to.
Mr. Powers,
Yeah,
does that
Yeah.
satisfy? Your
I'm
motion.
glad we heard from Mr. Wilson, but I'd still like to have my motion voted on.
Ms. Santini, you have a question?
You know, I think Mr. Powers brought up some valid point, if I can say this, that it needed to be discussed because, you know, people as a trustee came up to me about, they're concerned about nepotism and whatever. So this isn't nothing new. It just, he's asking and telling the truth about transparency. If you want to talk about transparency and treating people that you think they're a racist, is it was my first night back, and I wasn't even in the building to defend myself,
Point of
but I
order,
was told
Madam
that
President, this
I
has nothing
didn't
to
want
do-
to
Yes.
sit
This has nothing to do with
next
what we're talking
to
about.
a
Please,
black
point of order.
person. So
Miss-
I have been accused. Ms. Wilson's upset because she was the one that said it. There was seating arrangements change, which I
Point of
had
order.
no
What does this have
control
to do?
over because I would have to
Point
sit
of
on the
order.
bench
What
at
does
the
this have to do
end.
with
Okay,
the
So
topic
I've
at
been
hand?
called a
Miss-
racist by Ms. Wilson, which she should have been censured for on my first night, and I wasn't even in the room to defend myself. So if you want to talk about pointing
Point
fingers.
of order,
pick it.
please.
Ms.
I
Santini,
think Ms. Santini,
speak
has
to the
the floor. She's
motion.
entitled to be heard, Madam Chairman.
Not when it doesn't have anything to do
Madam
with the
Chairman, we
topic.
have a
Point of order.
trustee
Can we
who's
move
trying
on?
to speak and is being talked down. It's called a heckler's veto. It's unconstitutional. Please maintain order.
I have the right to point of order if
I'm
somebody gets
addressing
off
the chair.
topic.
I'm
And
addressing
that's
the
why
chair.
I'm point of order, because
Thank
it
you.
was
I'm addressing
not
the chair. I'm
anything
not
to do
going to
with
be
the topic.
forced out by a heckler's veto. I will speak. I will only raise my voice when somebody's speaking over me. Ms. Zantini is entitled to the respect as a co-member trustee of ours to be heard, just like any else of us would be. And none of us here wants to be talked over
We
while he
are
or she
having
wants to
a
make their
discussion.
statement.
I will
She's
listen.
doing her job, and she's got constituents who are expecting her to do her job. We can't gag her from doing her job. It's un-American. It's against the First Amendment. I
You
can't
need to
believe
speak
that we're even
to
having
the
to discuss
motion
this.
that's on the floor, which is concerning censure. So I believe,
But there has to be order. You have to control one member from talking down another.
well, I
Or
am
else I'm gonna
trying, and
start
I'm
doing-
failing.
It's gonna be a free-for-all.
Clearly.
If we're not gonna follow Robert's rules and we're gonna follow prison rules, and I'll start talking about everything, and it'll be chaos, it'll be anarchy. It's the chair's job to maintain order, follow the rules, let the lady speak. She's got 10 minutes to speak. She hasn't even said anything before she was being interrupted. All she said was she was out of the room, and all of a sudden people got excited. The fireworks started going on. I don't even know what she's gonna talk about.
Mr. Powers, thank you. Ms. Santini, speak to the matter of the censure.
I still second the motion.
Okay,
Ms.
thank you. Is there further
Yeah,
discussion? Mr. Wilson?
yes, Ms. Kaminsky, I have no idea what the other board members are talking about. I stand on, you know, if I said something to offend somebody, that's not my intent. I know, you know, what's going on. I know what's going on. It's unfortunate, but, it is hard to come together with this board. If you hit your gavel and we continue to talk, we're not gonna get anything done. If we don't stay on topic, you know, the censor, I've watched Mr., you know, my colleague that sits next to my left, out of control. Before I got on this board and while I'm on this board, I watched past board meetings. Today, he talks about censure. He's right. Someone should be censured on this board. You know, I am not here to buck the rules. I've been here since January. Not here to buck the rules. If you are asking me to stop talking or whatever, I understand. If there's a point of order, I understand. But we have people on the board that's not going to listen to the president. And now they want to censor because the things that they said should have been censored. We had a backlash on the things that Mr. Powers said. You know, he's saying these things today, it's like the pot calling the kettle black. You know, so I'm listening to him today, and it's unbelievable. You know, he's right. Mr. Powers is right. He said carpetbaggers and Mason-Dixon line. And those two terms, let's study our history, those two terms refer to racism. Very few people you're gonna come across is gonna say north of the Mason-Dixon line. Very few. But me and my sister in this community had to sit here and take it. I talked to a board member after that. Of course he should have been censored. But he came to us with a excuse. You know, my comments was not to call anybody on this board racist. But at the same time, if you look at the body of the board and some of the things that we vote and don't vote and some of the people that we vote for, Ms. Kaminsky, I've called you about children. And I said, Ms. Kaminsky, this is unbelievable. So, Mr. Powers' feeling is hurt. Nothing I can do.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
If there's no more discussion, I move to call the question.
I would like to say something. I've been trying to listen to everything. I try to give everybody the opportunity to speak. I have to make a decision if it crosses the line. And I have to admit, sometimes it's really hard. I want to protect your free speech. I want to see this board be successful. I have tried to make this work. I did not take what Mr. Wilson said as to be offensive. Maybe I wasn't truly listening, but I was not offended. Because truth of the matter, there are things that are questionable. There are comments that are questionable. So being that I made my statement, or my part of discussion, Mr. Powers called to question, I believe. I believe procedure is to take the vote.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Trustee Powers?
Pardon me?
I'm sorry, with everything going on. Treasurer Powers?
Yes.
Trustee Zantini?
Yes.
This is unprecedented for me. Do the person being censured, do they get a vote?
Yes.
I would assume yes.
Yeah, I see nothing in the policy about it, so.
Trustee Wilson?
No.
Trustee Maynard?
No.
Secretary Valerio Nauk? Yes. Vice President Wilson?
No.
President Kaminsky.
Votes no. Motion does not pass. 3 yeas, 4 noes. Correspondence, the superintendent and the board president recommend the board accept and receive the following correspondence. Elise Schmidt, Deborah Perry. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Ms. Wilson, thank you. Is there support?
Support.
Mr. Wilson, thank you. Is there discussion on the correspondence? Hearing and seeing none. Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Vice President Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Santini.
Yes.
Trustee Maynard.
Yes.
Treasurer Howard.
Yes.
Secretary Valerio Nauk, yes. And President Kaminsky.
Votes yes. Motion passes 7-0. At this time, the superintendent report. Mr. Janzerick, the floor is yours.
Looking at calendar and everything, came to me today that today's the last superintendent update or report before we start our 25-26 school year. Even though our football team's been out there working, we had other athletes in the buildings doing things, this will be the last one in terms of our report prior to we welcome students back for this new school year. Between the end of June and now, a couple small things have happened, but on July 28th, something big happened. And I see some laughing in the audience about it. On July 28th, we took in about 4 inches of rain in about 40 minutes of time. We took in enough rain where the road behind the school, there was someone, I believe, kayaking down. The water was unable to leave our district, and to say it caused some extreme damage really is an understatement. So I could stand up here and sit up here and tell you all about the awful things of what happened during that time. But I'd really rather share the great things that happened as a result of it. I have to commend Carla Kelly and her staff in terms of rising to an occasion that was out of their control. There's video of them attempting to push the water back outside into courtyards as it was flooding into the building. Everyone dropped everything and jumped right in to attempt to clean, attempt to stop some of the flooding if at all possible. There was no stopping the water coming in that day, but the next day we came in and they started right away. We changed plans, we changed direction, we knew there would be a mitigation company coming in and doing things. We started to work, see everyone kind of step up, and I can't thank Carla Kelly and her team enough for what they did to step up in that difficult situation and really take charge and find a way through it. I also have to put a big thank you out there to CRI, which is a team of individuals that came in to help us with the mitigation immediately. For those of you that drove by, you saw giant dehumidifiers trying to lower the humidity in the building. They came in immediately, as well as our insurance company, to have some conversations, and they worked with them. CRI's been there every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough for jumping in and helping Clintondale in a time of need. It's a company that we've worked with for 15 years, and I can't thank them enough for their, even though we do contract with them, but jumping right in to help out, finding ways to make it. I also want to thank my administrative team. We sat on the day after and started writing things down of everything that might change, could change, will change, and just started to brainstorm. And watching the administrators within the district step up in a very challenging time and be true leaders was great to see. From everything from continuing to hire. Last group of people I can't thank enough is all the individuals that were supposed to be in this building last week. Everyone got relocated. all the secretaries, building administrators, pupil accountant, everyone is now working out of central office right now that were working at McGlennon or the high school, allowing them. I can't thank all of them enough. It's been a great team of individuals, and watching the district come together in a challenging time like that, watching them step up regardless of what was going on and help each other out. I get the great luxury now of looking outside my office and seeing an elementary principal welcoming families. We've got new families coming in for special services. We've got iCampus coming in, welcoming kids in. We've got the high school enrolling students. Everything that could have gone wrong in a disaster like that, our staff stepped up. Our staff didn't put everything off to the side, and you'd get the question, can you go try to find this box? I got to walk with Joanne today, and I got to show her the apology. Like, it's not that I haven't been looking, but all of your things are right here in boxes. I just can't find it yet. We'll get to that point. So with all of that being said and all those thank yous, I'm extremely happy to say that everything's on target to be done. We will be there for September 2nd with kids in classrooms. All of this could have derailed our situation of our secure entrances. By the end of this week, our secure entrances are going to be up and ready to roll in all of our buildings. Everything that could have gotten in the way and every excuse that we could have made to not get things done, we didn't. We had to adjust football a little bit. We couldn't go around the school. We had to make adjustments, but I can't thank all the administrators, all the staff, as well as our outside individuals helping out. And to close things off, after the unfortunate incident on July 28th, I've also been in touch with multiple local and state politicians, sharing with them our story, sharing with them of what's going on, to try to help see what they can do to assist. I've had nothing but a great reception at that state level of having individuals call me back, immediately asking for more information. So I can't thank them enough as well, just for that continued support for Clintondale Community Schools. We will be back on September 2nd. We will be here on August 26th, welcoming staff in. We will be there to welcome kids on the first day of school, and I'll be honest with you, it's one of the things I'm looking forward to. I can't wait to start my day at the back of the middle school, welcoming families in. I can't wait to go to the elementaries and welcome kids as they come back in, some familiar faces, some new faces. I can't wait to welcome some of our new staff members, some of them that were sitting in the audience, some of them that are still in the audience, and see them on that first day of school working with kids. So, could it have been a disaster? Absolutely. But our response as a staff, our response as a school district, I'm extremely proud of. I'm extremely proud to see everyone step up in that scenario. I'm extremely proud to see us continue to move forward when we could have just kind of put our hands up and said enough's enough, we're never going to get it done. But not a single staff member has said that, so I just wanted to make sure I publicly acknowledge all of them.
Thank you, Ken. Yes, Ms. Wilson?
Yes, I just want to commend you, as you said, Carl and staff and the admin team, such short notice, unplanned, catastrophic event, and yet we're going to be ready and prepared on September 2nd to welcome the kids. So I just wanted to take a public moment to commend you and the team, and thank you guys for, I can't even imagine how much work it's taken to get to this point, but I just wanted to thank you for all the efforts that you and the entire team has put into getting us to September 2nd.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Mr. Maynard?
Thank you, Madam President. Mr. Superintendent, I read your weekly reports and I find them entertaining and always knowledgeable. Some lines are funny. I guess I just have a sense of humor sometimes when you write some things. Maybe it's because we're close in age, you being the senior by 19 months. My question is, it's a happy one today. It's amazing. And the question is, our great country is celebrating its 250th birthday. It's coming up on July 4th. It's an exciting time to be an American. And I read in your book, or in your report, that there was these meetings where you guys are brainstorming with you and your team. And I would be curious to know, and if you can't answer today, that's fine, and you need to put it in the weekly report, that's great. And if, et cetera. But this is a great year, and I'd like to know what you have in store to celebrate year-long the birth of our country. Things like, is the history class going to do an extra focus on the Declaration of Independence and the meaning behind it? Are we gonna talk about constitutional law, just how did the Constitution come along? What we've done over 250 years is absolutely amazing. 250 years ago, we told the dominant world power to take it and shove it. And we're standing here 250 years. Might not be perfect, but we're still standing 250 years. So I'm wondering if during your time, during those meetings, are you guys talking about how to celebrate, or is Clintondale planning the Clintondale, birthday celebration for our country? Are we, I know we stop in June, it's not till July 4th or July 2nd, depending on who you believe, but what are we doing? Are we doing anything? And please, if you need to respond to the weekly report, that's fine too. Just let me know, but I personally would like to know what we're doing at every level to celebrate our great country.
I will work with our chief curriculum officer and find out more information for you and put in a weekly update.
Thank you.
Thank you. Public comment regarding business before the board. We encourage you to voice your opinions on topics on the agenda. Please stand and be recognized by the chairperson and state your name and address before commenting. To provide opportunity for all to participate, board policy limits each individual to 3 minutes. To ensure due process and respect of individual rights, the district maintains a formal process for handling complaints against individuals. A problem involving an individual or individuals or specific incident is best handled through the administrative channels. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others that may be affected by your comments. Speakers should be aware that if your statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, you may be held legally responsible. Is there anyone wanting to make public comment for business on the agenda this evening? Moving on to consent items number 1 through 2. Is there anyone that wants to isolate either of the items? The
Unplug that microphone until the next public comment.
Yes.
So we can stop that ring.
That ring,
I don't think
yes.
I'm alone.
Thank you, Mr.
Having
Janzarek.
issues with that right now?
Madam Chair, I move the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Maynard. Is there support?
Support.
Ms. Wilson, thank you. Is there discussion? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Trustee Maynard,
Yes.
Secretary, Vice President Wilson,
Yes.
Trustee Santini,
Yes.
Trustee Wilson,
Yes.
Treasurer Powers,
Yes.
Secretary Valerio now, yes. President Kaminsky,
Votes yes, motion carries 7-0. Non-consent items. Resolution to consider official delegate and alternate representative for the October 23rd, 2025 MASB Delegate Assembly and identifying the candidates supported by the board.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Maynard.
if she's willing, I make a motion for Diane Zontini to be the delegate representative.
There's a motion on the floor
It's fun.
for Ms. Santini.
You
Miss-
don't want
you
it?
don't want it?
Ms. Santini says no.
No, she's,
Well, I've been there, it's fun.
I will,
I was gonna say, I have spoken with Ms. Valerio Noak. She has expressed to me her interest in being the delegate.
So
I would
moved.
like to make the motion for Ms. Valerio Noak.
Support?
Discussion. Madam Secretary, you're still interested?
President Kaminsky,
Votes yes?
Trustee Maynard,
Yes.
Trustee Santini,
Yes.
Trustee Wilson,
Yes.
Treasurer Powers,
Yes.
Secretary Valerio now, yes. Vice President Wilson,
Yes.
and there we go.
Yes. Motion passes 7-0. And for our alternate representative, I would like to motion, I think I can make the motion for myself, as I will be going to Traverse City to attend some of the conferences. In the event that Ms. Valeria Noak cannot attend, I will make the motion to nominate myself, unless somebody else has a burning desire to.
I support.
Is there a second?
I
Ms.
support.
Thank you. Ms. Wilson? Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
President Kaminsky.
Votes yes.
Vice President Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Santini.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Maynard.
Yes.
Treasurer Powers.
Yes.
And Secretary Valerio Nauk, yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Ms. Walmsley, I believe there's paperwork involved. Make sure, thank you. Resignation. The superintendent and the director of human resources recommend the board approve the resignation of Deborah Perry, special education teacher, effective August 15th, 2025. Ms. Perry has worked for the district for 4 years. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Ms. Wilson, is there support?
Support.
Mr. Maynard, discussion?
I just would like to say, Madam President, I wish Miss Perry well. She did good work for us here, and when she became director, she had a lot to do. So I just wish her well. I understand she has another employment, so I want to wish her well, and we're going to miss her.
Thank you, Mr. Maynard. As well, I would like to sentiment from the entire board, we do wish you well, Ms. Deborah Perry, in your next steps in life. Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Vice President Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Maynard.
Yes.
Trustee Santini.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Treasurer Powers.
Yes.
Secretary Valerio Nauk, yes. And President Kaminsky.
Votes yes, motion passes 7-0. Resignation. The superintendent and the director of human resources recommend the board approve the resignation of Elise Schmidt, teacher, effective August 11th, 2025. Ms. Schmidt has worked for the district for 1 year. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Ms. Wilson, is there support? President will support. Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Vice President Wilson.
Yes.
President Kaminsky.
Votes yes.
Trustee Santini.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Maynard.
Yes.
Treasurer Powers.
Yes.
And Secretary Valerio Nauk, yes.
Motion passes 7-0. ASME contract. The superintendent and the board president recommend the board approve the ASME Local 1630 agreement retroactive to July 1st, 2025. This agreement was for a wage reopener only. Is there a motion on the floor?
Support. So moved.
Mr. Maynard,
Support.
with Mr. Wilson supporting, is there discussion? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, would you please take roll call?
Trustee Maynard.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Santini.
Yes.
Treasurer Powers.
Yes.
Secretary Valerio Nauk, yes. Vice President Wilson.
Yes.
President Kaminsky.
Votes yes, motion passes 7-0. Teacher, the superintendent and the director of human resources recommend the board approve Spencer Richardson Moore as dance teacher for the 25-26 school year, contingent upon fingerprints, record check, and physical. The rate of pay will be $56,004, step 8 of the BA salary schedule. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Ms. Wilson, is there support?
Support.
Mr. Wilson, Is there discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Maynard?
it's been a while. This teacher has more than 1 year experience, or is this a new teacher?
This is a new teacher hire.
No, I understand
Oh.
that. We're bringing him in on step 8. Is this his first teaching gig, or did he have stuff behind?
Mr. Maynard, he has several years of teaching experience.
Okay, so we're just, okay, that's the reason. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Walmsley. Any other questions? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, please take roll call.
Vice President Wilson,
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Valentini,
Yes.
Trustee Maynard,
Yes.
Treasurer Powers,
Yes.
Secretary Valerio now, yes, and President Kaminsky.
Votes yes, motion passes. Welcome to Clintondale, Mr. Richardson Moore. Item number 6, the superintendent, the director of human resources recommend the board approve Jeff Pedraz as music teacher for the 25-26 school year, contingent upon approved fingerprints, records check, and physical. The rate of pay will be $43,105, step 1 of the MA salary schedule. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Ms. Wilson? Is there support? President will support. Is there discussion?
Madam President?
Yes, Mr. Maynard?
I have a couple of questions. First, I'm slightly disturbed that yesterday on Facebook, the candidate posted, "This fall, I will be beginning a new chapter in my life as the band director at Clintondale High School. My performance schedule will be limited but occasional, and I will be available to play. I have decided that my focus outside of this schoolwork will be at P&L." So he had the assumption that we were all, that he was hired, I guess. So that really put the bad taste in my mouth. Number one. Number two, I reviewed and went over the questionnaires that we have here. And I have my questions. So I just have a few questions because I want to make sure that we're hired. First off, he seems to be the band director, but we're hiring him as a music teacher. So please, is this like a music teacher for elementary, or is this just a high school band director, or is this the high school and middle school band director?
Mr. Pedro's certification is not in band, it's in music, which encompasses band, choir, jazz ensemble.
So we're offering jazz ensemble, choir, band. We're putting that all in for kids to choose now? Yes, no?
We are launching and continuing with our band. We're looking to grow our band, grow our students within it. We cannot launch all of those at one time, but he has a background in that as well as jazz.
Okay, do we have a, because I noticed he is completing his certificate, so that means we have to get him temporarily approved, and I understand that. Will his certificate just be 6 through 12, or will it be elementary through 8? And
His certificate will be K-12.
so he will be going throughout all of our district as a music teacher, or is he focusing just 6 through 12?
He will be focusing on 6-12, but he has the capability and the certification to teach K-12.
Okay. Second, I guess I want to just to make sure some basic, and if these questions weren't asked or somebody can get back to me, that's going to be fine. But in his interview, did we ask how you divide up your instruments for beginning band? Did we ask something like how do you assess the students to check for growth? Did we ask things that how do you go about creating great sound for the group? Did we ask technical questions out of a technical position? This isn't like a math and a science, because I noticed we don't have any band directors interviewing on the position here. No disrespect to Mr. Forlini, who's a choral musician and probably knows a little bit. But did we ask those type of questions of not just this applicant, but every applicant?
I can get back to you on that in my weekly update.
Okay. I look at this as when we went through this process that, and it's something maybe what I'm driving at is maybe we have to take a look at the process itself, because for specific things are required. And I went through his resume, and a lot of, ensemble work, a lot of, DSO, a lot of good things that I think would bring a wonderful thing to Clintondale. But I want to make sure that when we went through this entire process, and maybe somebody who went through the process can help me further understand the technical questions or the questions that were asked in general, because we just pulled this guy through, and I asked 3 typical questions that a band director candidate would need to know in an interview. They would need to be able to demonstrate that to you, to me. And I can understand he's a new teacher, and I can understand it's gonna take some work, but I just wanna make sure. So somebody talked to me about the process that we went through. Like the first round was Dr. Berry and Maurice Woods and John Forlini and Mr. Lewis. And then the second panel was Dr. Berry, Heather Halpin, and again, Mr. Lewis. And then the final was Ken doing a tour, and what I hoped was, hey, these are the expectations as a Clintondale teacher, and this is what we are as we're a family, et cetera, which I'm sure Ken did, based on his comments. So can anybody address that, those types of things? Because I'm not comfortable moving forward unless I know some of the technical things were covered in this process, not just for him, but for every candidate.
So what I'm hearing then, Mr. Maynard, is that you're not happy with the process from the HR standpoint?
No, I'm not
Is that your
saying I'm not
question?
happy from the process from the HR standpoint. Those are your words, and it's very important that the tapes show that. What I'm saying is our process overall is, did we go through, did we look at technicalness of this position? Did we look at what we're gonna look at in the future in this position? And did we get the right person based on all of that? Was that all at the top and then we interviewed, or was that all put together at the bottom? And I want to be very clear that I'm not saying the HR department, the director, or Mr. Lewis did anything wrong. I want that, I want that absolutely clear,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
Yep, so I want, the process is how we went about doing this. If I'm hiring a math teacher, or I'll just do it a different way. If I'm hiring, a staff attorney for my business, I'm going to have an attorney on the panel, that comes through, and I understand our limitations, but I was able to find out all of this stuff with 2 phone calls. Two phone calls to people who I trust and know that were band directors. 2 phone calls. So I want to believe that this process is correct, and I want to go with it, but I just want some assurance. Because if we didn't do the technical stuff up front, if we didn't weed through these people and say, oh, hey, could you do this, could you do that? And maybe it was done, and maybe I just don't see it in this, and that's fine, okay? But it's very important. As I was told when I sat in the center chair by an esteemed mentor and friend, that the president has to support this process because the integrity of the process will be challenged if it isn't. And there was multiple times where my stomach was curling on a couple of people, and I had to go through and do my homework and go down through the line and check everything. When we hired the principal, Dr. Berry, I went through all 40+ applications and what everybody said about every application. It took me 3.5 hours before I sat in that chair and said that's the direction we should go. But what we did was we started with a transformative individual, a goal in mind when it comes to work. And if we had a goal in mind and we had questions designed for being a band teacher, because a band teacher is different than being an English teacher, it's different than being a history teacher, it's different than being a PE teacher. I wish this guy well if you guys vote him in, but I guess I just want to know, did we do technical questions to make sure this individual, and those are other questions. If I really wanted to spend time, I could have, called other people. I just happen to be blessed in this area where I know multiple band directors. And not just multiple band directors, multiple award-winning band directors, year in and year out. That's how I got some of the information. So, Madam President, I'm not comfortable. I'm going to vote no.
Okay,
And I want it to be very clear for the third time that those were your words, not mine, about the HR department.
well, I think the tape will reflect who was
Okay.
speaking, Mr. Maynard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you saying we should hire him or not?
Mr. Maynard is well, I do apologize, Mr.
No,
Maynard.
no, you good, you got that one right. I am voting no.
Okay,
I'm voting no,
thank you.
okay? Unless Ken can go through and, and say, Jared, those questions were answered, put my mind at ease. Here are the questions that we asked during round one, here are the questions that we asked during round two. And, I already know what round three is because he's done it, and he's told me before, when we went, again, I use my example of the principals, he's told me before what he does during those interviews. And it is incredibly effective.
Thank you, Mr. Maynard.
Thank you, Madam President.
I think Mr. Maynard was seeking some clarification for Mr. Janzarek. Are you
And I think
comfortable?
I said in the beginning, I would answer in a board update, as I don't have the questions in front of me, and I would share that information.
Thank you. Mr. Wilson?
I do have one question. How many, just off the top, Madam President, how many candidates do we have for the band position? I am aware that it's tough finding personnel to teach music. And do we have 3, 4 candidates?
From the packet of information, we had four candidates that were interviewed.
Thank you.
Board members, are there any other questions or comments? Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Vice President Wilson,
Yes.
President Kaminsky,
Votes yes?
Trustee Zantini,
Yes.
Trustee Wilson,
No.
Trustee Maynard,
No.
Treasurer Powers,
No.
Secretary Valerio Nauk, yes.
Motion passes 4-3. Welcome to Clintondale, Mr. Pedraz. Item number 7, the Superintendent, Director of Human Resources, recommend the board approve Dara Reese as early childhood special education teacher for the 25-26 school year, contingent upon approved fingerprints, record check, and physical. The rate of pay will be $39,664, step 1 of the BA salary schedule. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Mr. Wilson, is there support?
Support.
Ms. Wilson, is there discussion?
I have one question.
Yes, Ms. Valeria Noak.
I'm happy to see that we are getting special education teachers for early childhood. My question, and I know I'm usually the one that's complaining about money, but I'm looking at this at 39.6, and I thought special education teachers were a little bit higher up, no? Okay. Well, in that case, thank you very much. That was my only concern.
Yes, Mr. Maynard?
My question again is on form. For the interview for Mr. Pedraz, we have an interview panel of 1, 2, 3, 4, starting out in round 1. And then in this, we only have an interview of 1 and 2. Is there a reason where we only had 2 people for this interview process?
Lee
Yeah.
or Ken?
Yes, we had people on vacation
Okay.
this summer.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions, board members? Thank you. Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, would you please take roll call?
Trustee Wilson,
Yes.
Vice President Wilson,
Yes.
Trustee Zantini,
Yes.
Trustee Maynard,
Yes.
Treasurer Powers,
Yes.
Secretary Valerio Now, yes, and Vice President, no, President Kaminsky.
Votes yes, motion carries 7-0. Welcome to Clintondale, Ms. Reese. Item number 8, the Superintendent and Director of Human Resources recommend the Board approve Kerrigan Shell as elementary teacher for the 25-26 school year, contingent upon approved fingerprints, record check, and physical. The rate of pay will be $39,664, step 1 of the BA salary schedule. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Ms. Wilson, is there support?
Support.
Mr. Wilson, is there discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Maynard.
2 questions. This interview panel has 3 on it. Is that person assigned to a school, or did each principal interview because she may end up at either school?
Ms. Walmsley or Mr. Janzarek?
It's common practice for us to have the elementary staff, all elementary administrators in interviews whenever possible, due to the fact that staff members can move between buildings, and we will also have multiple open positions throughout the month of August. So it's pretty common for us to have multiple elementary administrators on a panel to hire an elementary teacher.
Okay. My second question is, again, going back to the interview with Mr. Pedras, there was 3 rounds of interview, and he is a teacher. And on this interview, there is only 1 round, and we're done. Is there a reason for that?
Sometimes with positions, we have multiple rounds depending on the role. We were looking at growing our band program. It was something that was invested, so we had additional things. For elementary teachers, not that they're any less valuable to us, but for us right now, we're filling a handful of empty positions at the elementary level.
Okay.
They were comfortable with it, and I was comfortable with it.
So I shouldn't read anything into the fact that 7 people were interviewed for this position, and we only went 1 round?
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Janzarek. Any other questions, board members? Madam Secretary, please take a roll call.
Vice President Wilson,
Yes.
Trustee Wilson,
Yes.
Trustee Santini,
Yes.
Trustee Maynard,
Yes.
Treasurer Powers,
Yes.
Secretary Valerio Now, yes, and President Kaminsky.
Votes yes, motion passes. Welcome to Clintondale, Ms. Shell. Item number 9, the Superintendent, Director of Human Resources recommend the Board approve Kelly Mack as elementary teacher for the 25-26 school year, contingent upon approved fingerprints, record check, and physical. The rate of pay will be $88,726, step 15 of the MA salary schedule. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Ms. Wilson, is there support? President will support. Is there discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Maynard.
only got a couple more. You don't have to say it much more. This candidate panel has 7 candidates, and we have 2 rounds. Is there anything I need to read into that one, having 2 rounds for 7?
Nope.
No. Okay. The first panel was Mrs. Halpin and Mr. Lewis. And then the second panel reverted back to Dr. Helmer, Ms. Shack, and Mr. Lewis. Is there a reason that they went in that order?
Mrs. Halpin and Mr. Lewis are 52-week employees, therefore they were
Okay.
screening applicants. After they screened those individuals on the
Perfect.
first round of interviews, they then moved to the second round of interviews, which included the elementary principals, as those are the individuals that they will be working with.
Okay, and I certainly hope that we get a contract soon, because this 39,000 is 88,000. I mean, it's such a difference for a first-year teacher. Hopefully we can address that. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any other questions, board members? Madam Secretary, please take roll call.
Vice President Wilson,
Yes.
President Kaminsky,
Votes yes.
Trustee Santini,
Yes.
Trustee Wilson,
Yes.
Trustee Maynard,
Yes.
Treasurer Powers.
Yes.
Secretary Valerio now, yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Welcome to Clintondale, Ms. Mack. Item number 10,
Madam Chair, I motion to approve Stephanie Brissett as put into our packets 1AD, and that we changed and made 11 earlier today.
thank you, Mr. Maynard. Is there support?
Support.
Ms. Wilson? Is there discussion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I would just like to say, because I know you're here,
And she-
I cannot wait to be at your class for March's Reading Month. I cannot wait to see. I think you should also get all of us up here into your class, but I wish you nothing but the best.
Madam Secretary, would you please take roll call?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Was there
Mr. Powers.
discussion on
Yes, yes, Mr. Powers.
I didn't understand what Mr. Maynard said about 11.
Oh, Mr. Powers, I apologize, Madam Chair, I'm overstepping you. Before, while you were stuck outside, we were trying to answer the door. We made an agenda change where number 10, as in your packet, it shows Diane Milou, okay, I can't pronounce it.
Yes.
But she was removed from the agenda.
Yes.
And then we replaced number 10 and made a new number 10 for this one in your packet, for Stephanie Brisdeen. Right here was now the new 11. I apologize, I didn't think about saying that to you.
Clarifying, yes.
Sorry about
Could
that.
we invite her up here to demonstrate her proficiency in the Polish language by addressing us in Polish, maybe? I think Mr. Janczarek would appreciate that.
I'm sure she will be available afterwards for dissertation, Mr. Powers.
Not the first
Let's,
motion
let's,
I've
let's
lost.
not put anybody on the spot, okay? Thank you. Board members, any other
I was-
questions?
I was just being facetious, everybody. I don't want anybody to get excited.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, go ahead, take the roll.
Trustee Maynard,
Yes.
Vice President Wilson,
Yes.
Trustee Santini,
Yes.
Trustee Wilson,
Yes.
Treasurer Powers,
Yes.
Secretary Valerio now, yes, and President Kaminsky.
Votes yes. Welcome to Clintondale.
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Maynard.
and also for the edification of my brother, because it wasn't on
Yes,
the
I was
topic.
gonna,
it's
I was
in
going to clarify
Number
that.
11 has been removed as well.
Thank you, Brother
Yes.
Maynard. 11 is removed?
Is removed, yes, to our next board meeting.
Will there be no, so it's not up for discussion?
Not till the next one.
Not to the next meeting.
Because I do have a comment on it. I don't know if I can anticipate.
We
Can I
have,
use it for, well,
we can speak all
If
we
it's not-
want
if
to
it's not really
speak
before us.
at our next board meeting.
all right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. General public comment on items not on the agenda. We encourage you to voice your opinion on topics not on the agenda. Please stand and be recognized by the chairperson and state your name and address before commenting. To provide the opportunity for all to participate, board policy limits individual to 3 minutes. To ensure due process and respect of individual rights, the district maintains a formal process for handling complaints against individuals. A problem involving an individual or individuals or specific incident is best handled through administrative channels. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by your comments. Speakers should be aware that if your statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, you may be held legally responsible. Welcome to the podium, Mr. Walmsley.
Bob Walmsley, Athletic Director,
With new glasses?
with new glasses, right? I just want to comment on a couple of things. I know next week, the rest of our staff is coming back into the building. We're going to welcome them back. But I do want to recognize our high school coaches, our coaches here who've been working all summer long with our kids, day in, day out, most of them at least 4 days a week during the entire summer, outside of regulated dead periods. Ariel Hughes, our cheerleading coach, she's had the squad out there. Heidi Shagney, she's had the volleyball team out there. And our football coach, Dante Owens, and his staff have been out there all summer long getting the boys ready for football season. That being said, I know this week we have, our football has their 4-way scrimmage coming up on Thursday over at Parkway Christian. It's a 4 o'clock start for that. You can follow this on our athletics calendar through the website. Next week on the 27th, volleyball starts at Warren Mott, their first game, and then the first varsity and JV football game we will be playing at Adrian Addison. JV is playing at 3 o'clock, and then varsity will follow up at 6 o'clock. Also, I want to thank some people because this whole summer we've been dedicating ourselves to reverse turfing our field. Okay, since we don't have the money to actually turf it, me and a group of people, some of my crazy friends, have decided we're going to turf the lines on the field. And I want to make sure I thank them for all their help. First of all, Mr. Janzerek, I brought the idea to him and he says, go for it, this is a good idea. Carla Kelly, Building and Grounds, they've been fully in support of this. Rick Jaworski, Sean Murray, Dante Owens, Don Owens, Nick Morogi, they've all spent time out there with me laying these lines down, so we will never have to paint the field again. It's been a lot of work, it's been a lot of learning, but we're getting it done. Phase 1 is complete, all the lines are down. Phase 2, we're gonna add numbers. Hopefully phase 3, we work on the end zones, okay? But it's a lot of work, and like I said, it's coming to a close. We're getting it all done. And lastly, I know we're not supposed to talk about items on the agenda, but with the hiring of our new basketball coach, can we please at least recognize Coach Owens here? He showed up in a suit today after coaching football.
My
all
apologies.
afternoon.
My apologies.
No, that's all right. I just want to make sure, listen, when we've been
Absolutely.
doing these interviews, class, quality, individuals that we are bringing forward for our student athletes, Don is, represents it, and I know he's got a tall task in front of him with our girls' basketball program, but he's up for it. And this is a guy here, look at him. I came from the field too, and I'm in shorts still. Don came from the field, he's still in shorts, and Don was able to put the suit on, so.
He looks like a basketball coach. Yeah, right?
So I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that, hey, good luck, Don, we're supporting you, and, he's gonna do great things for us. That's it, thank you.
Bob, before you leave, I would like to say one thing, and this isn't, I know we don't say it enough. I see you all the time, putting your heart out there, not only with the alumni group, but with the kids, making sure they get their grades in the way they should, and then getting them to play the athletics. Have a great year this year. I know we're gonna end up having a winning football team, right? We're gonna go to champions. Yeah. And just thank you for everything that you do. Just want to put that out there.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Bob? I know.
Love fest.
It's a love fest. I just want to thank you and the entire C Club. I'm not going to reveal the amount. I'll leave that up to you. But thank you very much for all the hard work you guys put in. And it was an incredibly successful golf outing.
Yep.
I'll leave it at that, even if Barry didn't get a meal. But I did get you a hot dog, Barry. But my foursome enjoyed it. My foursome will be back. And then might be a couple more depending on things. So just thank you for all the work you do. Thank you for all that. That wasn't easy. And good job.
One last thing, I know the Pickleplex is supposed to be started this week. It looks like possibly Wednesday they're coming out to get that going, so I know that's another thing that's going on here at the school, so.
Bob, you owe Maynard $4.50 for my hot dog since you guys didn't have any food for me.
If I owe him, he'll never be broke.
That is exactly what my dad says.
Was there anybody else wanting to make public comment for items not on the agenda? I do want to make a note, because I didn't catch it earlier in the meeting. If we could add to our agenda, also in attendance, our Director of Special Education, Mr. Kevin Noblock, is also here.
And
So
you didn't mention Mr. Van Vliet.
I did not. I do apologize. He
Motion
is
to
here.
adjourn.
Mr. Maynard makes the motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there support?
Support.
Ms. Wilson? Signify by saying A. All those that approved, A. And any opposed, say nay. Hearing none, motion adjourned at 8:51 PM.